Here we go. Can someone clip that and send it to Dak and say, that's how you do it, Dak? It's not, here we go. No, Dakota Rain Prescott. It's here we go. I guess that's too long for a cadence when you only have, 25-second shot clock. Anyways, we are live from North Carolina and Hamilton, Ontario, as always. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
We are live. Which one is squawking?
Wait, are we live yet?
We're live. There we go. All right. Had some squawking issues.
I think William does it the best.
It is episode 42, believe it or not, of Coffee Talk. We are here.
Wow.
I want to give a big shout out to the Pipers' 9th anniversary.
Woohoo! I can't believe Sarah's put up with Will that long, to be quite honest.
I know. Might be time for her to trade him in for one of them new. He's, at Menanjo, I think the warranty's up, so she may be stuck with them. But she might. But yeah, 9th anniversary. They went out for a big celebratory dinner. There apparently are rumors of pictures, but I haven't seen them because I'm busy. Because I've been busy. How are you?
No, you haven't. You're never busy.
I was busy today. I'll get into that in a minute. But you're always busy. What's going on with you? And the kids, and the soccer, and the hockey, and the football, and the baseball, and the
sports, and more sports. So you've heard the journey of Riley on this soccer journey. So she obviously plays for her school, but she also plays travel for a club. And this weekend was the very last travel soccer showcase. So no more travel soccer. So yeah, it's a little bittersweet. I was struggling a little bit yesterday. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm just a big softy when it comes to my kids. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah,
and that's good. And remind them, and hopefully they'll remember this in 20 or 30 years when they're picking out your home.
Yeah, maybe
when they're when they're picking out the home. When they're picking out, hopefully they'll remember all these times that they get you somewhere nice.
Yeah, I still struggle with the fact that she doesn't want to play in college, but that's just my own thing. I've got to get over. She's going to wind up going on and doing something else that's going to be really great, and I'm going to support her. So,
well, she may not do it officially, but there'll be little pickup games, and there'll be
they've got other rules, and they've got
other. So definitely no trade-ins.
No trade-ins. I think you should melt him down and build him new again.
I think they're doing that already. I think they're already doing that already.
They're trying.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank God thank God the Niners won today, because I would have been so pissed at Raymond if the Niners did not win today. So thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Raymond, for winning.
Thank you, McCaffrey. Thank you, Debo.
Thank you, Raymond, and thank you for everything you did with that team. So a fellow reached out to me, saw my retro stream, and he said, "Hey, you like Atari, and you did a bunch of stuff. We're having a little Commodore event." So that's where I went to. They went to the World of Commodore 2023 today.
Hung out with a bird show.
Went to hung out with a bunch of nerds, and I picked up because what was happening on the internet in 94, 95, and it includes a coupon for a PC Mac disc.
When I think about the internet in 94, 95, I just hear that like AOL dial-up, like ding dong, ding dong.
All this really is just a list of news groups, the old news groups. So
we were saying there weren't really web pages, right?
No, there was just news groups. So soch.culture.misc. Let's see. So science si.enger biome for biomedical. Where's the sports? Here's sports. Alt.boomerang. There's actually a discussion group for people who threw boomerangs. Alt.boomerang tells you more than you'd ever want to know about boomerangs, throwing them, building them, buying them, talking to other people about them. Improve your bowling, rock, cricket. Are you into cricket? That's something we don't discuss enough. Fencing. We don't talk enough about fencing.
I don't know the rules of cricket.
Me neither.
I know that like you can hit it over the fence.
Paintball, rowing,
40 points or something like that.
Ice skating. I just know they go on for like 3 days. And I can barely make it through a 3 hours of a Cowboys game. I couldn't imagine doing it for 3 days. Like at the end of the game, like, like I came upstairs and like, you won. Why does it look like you're like dying? Because, I have a heart attack 8 times during a typical Cowboys game. So watching football on Sunday does not count as being busy.
It's not. He's not lying.
Oh,
he is not lying.
Oh, Ray had Windows 95. Nice.
But what background did you have? That's the important question.
I had Windows 3.1. I had Windows at 3.11. I had Windows.
Because wasn't 95 the one that they had like different editions that had different backgrounds built in automatically?
Probably.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Windows 95 is the reason why there's no Windows 9. It went from Windows 8 to Windows 10 because everything was written back there just to take the first bit, and the first bit in Windows 95 was a 9. So if they did that, all the programs would break because they would the code, all the legacy code in them that looks for
Vista. Crow said Vista was the worst. It absolutely was the worst.
I had all the Windows. Vista was the worst. They're pulling out the cart. Who's down? Somebody's down. Oh, it must be a Kansas City Chief because what's his name is lumbering out there.
At least they weren't on the sideline like that photographer or whatever that got his legs cracked in half today. Did you see that?
I thought it was a referee.
Was it a referee? I thought it was on the sideline like camera.
Well, I thought the referee crashed into the. I thought he crashed.
It was Kamara. It was Kamara. Kamara got hit out of bounds and he slammed into the leg of somebody on the sideline.
Yeah. Ooh, Ray says Vista. Yuck.
Yeah, yuck.
Yeah. So and then we've been playing games. We played together the other night.
We did from space.
From space,
and found out that Crow's a cheater, and he has all the DLC. So
I've been playing a game we're not allowed to talk about because we're under the NDA.
Mm-hmm. Madden 26, nice.
Madden 26. Well, I have Madden 25. I already have because everyone's playing Madden. I have Madden 25.
I was already playing GTA 6. I mean, so.
I know. Oh, I know. All right, should we get on with the show?
Let's do it because
we have a jam pack. Hey, folks, we've had guest hosts when he's been away. I've had a guest host. We had
and when you were away, I had Ann and Jim.
I wasn't away. I was still here. But anyways, yes, you had Ann and Jim. But we have an actual guest because we're both here. Vista is the reason I left PC for Max. I prefer rich cheater. Yeah. Not everyone can afford the $3. I didn't buy the DLC because I didn't want to shell out the $3 for the DLC.
Yeah, you know what it was? In all honesty, the reason he bought the DLC was because he felt bad that he called out the devs during the game. Because he was like, "There's no ammo," and he tweeted them. No, he tweeted them too. He tweeted them too, and then got really pissed when they liked one of my tweets about it, and they didn't acknowledge his. He was hoping the DLC would give him more ammo.
Yeah, he was. He really was. He really was. But now we figured out the DLC gives him that cool gun.
Yeah.
So, but yes, we have a special guest. He is going to lead off the show in a minute. But while we're here. Let's get right into it.
All right. Well, there you go. Our discussion. We're going to go back and visit the F1 Las Vegas with good buddy graphics gear.
That's right.
We're going to then shift into our sports ball talk. Did you hear about? Got 5 guesses from me this week, I guess. But Jeff, what we're not going to talk about today is Fortnite Season 5. Does that mean I can't talk about Rocket League?
That's correct.
Damn.
Rocket League is dead.
Next week.
It's now all merged in the Fortnite. And soon they're going to shut down Fall Guys and they're going to bring that into Fortnite.
Oh my God. This is ridiculous. All right. And then we're not going to talk about Elon and his advertising expletives.
Swearing it. All right.
And if you haven't been under a rock, you know what we're talking about. So
it is all true. Hey, there was an issue in the football game today, and I immediately went to X to find out what was going on. I'm not booting up threads looking for breaking news. I'm sorry. I know you guys are all into the threads. Everybody hates the X, and everyone's all about the threads now because everyone's like, I'm back on threads. I'm done with that. And then I comment and say, you'll be back. Anyways, so when I had breaking news, I wanted to know what was going on in the football game because I had just walked in the door. I missed part of it. I I went to the X. Anyways,
Nice.
we have, so we talked about a lot about the F1. We've been talking about it for weeks and months, but we got somebody who actually went to the game, not the game, went to it.
Went to the race.
Where are you? Where are you?
Oh my gosh.
Where the hell are you? No, no. There we go.
Hey, and
too many things on the left-hand side for me to click away.
So apparently you can count to 2, but 3 just right out there.
I cannot. You were banned from Instagram? What? Hang on. What is this comment? You were banned from the Instagram? How do you get banned from Instagram?
I was banned. Apparently my controllers were just too hot, and they had closed my account.
Okay.
I literally asked for any kind of feedback, and they couldn't give me a reason as to why I was banned. I'm banned, and that means I can't use Threads either.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
Well, you could make a fake account. You could make another.
Could you?
Right, but I already had a graphics gear account for promoting my controllers and stickers, so it was like.
No, I know, but you could just.
And that's why now I'm on Blue Sky, so you can find me on Blue Sky.
There you go.
And I have. And I have, as a matter of fact. So there you go. And I have. Anyways, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, though it's not as late for you as it is for us.
Well, thank you for having me anyways. It's still nice to be here.
Good.
So, Las Vegas, F1, you were there. How was it?
Can I use the same words I used to describe it? As I believe I said in your chat, it was a shit show, but at least the race was good. And when I say it was a mess, it was a mess at many levels. The city wasn't ready. The racetrack wasn't ready. The people really didn't want it. It ultimately did not bring the local businesses what they were promised. And I'm hearing reports that some people were out, in the tens of thousands of dollars for that period. And, to a small business, that's everything. Mm-hmm. So there's just all kinds of ways. Yeah.
That could be a month of revenue right there.
It's employees. Those are people that you could actually have in your stores. I can rewind a little bit and kind of go into more detail if you guys want to hear it.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's start at the beginning too, if you don't mind. You don't live in Las Vegas, right?
No. So I have a buddy who is a high roller, and he lives pretty large out there when he is out there. And
well, we know that's not Ray.
Ray's holding back on us. Ray's the high roller out in California.
Just don't tell his wife. So he had rooms and tickets, and he's like, if you want to come check it out, come check it out. He brought out some of his other friends up there too, and yeah. So nice. I had tickets to the race and a room to stay in. And not only that, actually, the room was at the Palazzo, which is a really nice hotel. It's right across from the Wynn. It included room credits, so it's like I didn't even have to pay for food. It was very inclusive.
That works out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got the most bargain flight I could find to get out there. Arrived.
Did you get in before all the practice runs?
Yes, I came out on was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday, and then I left on Monday.
So you were there when the manhole cover popped up and all that stuff.
Right. So one of the things that went wrong. And most people, I think, have seen 1,000 breakdowns of it now, but they basically just didn't seal their manhole covers. I don't think it was actually very big. I think it was the size of a pancake.
I think it was one of the water, where you get the key for the water valves. Like you said, the smaller one.
Yeah. But those cars create so much suction that I guess it pulled it out. And onto the road, and then when the Ferrari hit it, that was it. Those cars aren't made of much.
No, millions of dollars.
What are they? They're only 2 inches off the ground, aren't they? 3 inches off the ground, something.
I don't even think it's that much. I think it's a pretty generous estimate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
did you have tickets for Thursdays that got canceled? Well, they ended up doing it 3 a.m. Did you have tickets for that, or did you only have tickets for the race day?
I had tickets for the whole thing.
Okay.
But the main thing was that I could also see it from my room, which was nice.
Oh.
So
What turn? Like the whole thing, or like a certain area?
I could see the whole turn coming from around the sphere.
Okay,
Up until right as it passed in front of the what is that? The Treasure Island Venetian.
Right before it got into that crazy turn.
Yeah, which is actually where that one guy wiped out. Was it the Heineken racer?
Or like the time trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Practice.
So I had a pretty good view either way. But yeah, so during the practice run, which is paid, as part of that multi-$1,000 package that they were offering initially, they basically just kicked everyone out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like go.
So you were there. You were there, and then they made you leave.
Yeah.
Because I know there were some people who only bought Thursday, so they paid all that money for a flight, hotel, just because that's all they could afford. They couldn't afford Saturday, so they wanted to be part of it. They wanted to see a little bit. So there are people who got there, saw nothing, got kicked out, and were out thousands of dollars and got nothing.
And no returns. There was no refunds on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if they were comp tickets or whatever, like I don't know, I'd probably still be a little mad, but but
you still had to get there.
Yeah, exactly. You pay to get out there. You probably had a room, probably had food, all kinds of stuff. So,
yeah. Casino losses.
And they also, a lot of the events that were going on around the town were tied to the racing event as well. And I know that there were some of those things that we were reading. A lot of money to go into those kind of tent events, the drinks that they were selling. Of course, they had like different levels. Like you get a drink in one of the racing boots or something like that for $130 or whatever it was. And even some of those events I heard were having issues.
Yeah, almost all of them were. So I guess like the next part of it would be the infrastructure. Okay. So in order to make this happen, they have to close down a big part of the Las Vegas Strip. And basically everything from the past Caesar's Palace, the Cosmo, down to let's say the
Circus is at the top, right?
Circus is at the top end, the north side of the boulevard. Everything past going south down the boulevard, everything past the Cosmo down to like the Monte Carlo and the MGM Grand, or at least for now, I think it was sold. Was open, but once you got past that, then you had to enter what I kept calling the fishbowl, because once you got in the side of the loop of the track, that was basically it. You only had like 3 or 4 exit points with the pedestrian crosses, and of course those were jam packed because you have like all of Vegas still there trying to get around. So you had to go through the either like these winding side streets that were way off from where you wanted to be, or these overpasses, and there were private security guards there who really don't care, other than they were told no standing. And so they're just barking and yelling at everyone going through.
I kept seeing a TikTok of some security lady just yelling at people to keep moving. I kept seeing the same lady just on different TikToks. Right.
I don't know if like how often you guys visit Vegas, but I've been going for like the last 15 years or so, on and off. And
I haven't been since I was 16.
Okay. Well, I mean, most of those casinos are gone now, but
that's what I'm gonna say. I was like, oh, Circus is still there. Nice. When I used to go, it was just a patch of dirt in a road, like no, not even paved road, like when I went.
I feel like that was the most perfect comment.
The Mobster Museum wasn't there because they were selling mobsters.
Wait! There's casinos there now? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
There's casinos there now? They should tell that to somebody. Carry on.
So most of the modern Vegas, though, like everyone knows the campaign, like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's kind of like infamous now. I think one of the things about Vegas is every time I had been there, I never had a bad time. And when I say that, I mean they always made sure that, you know, you were partying, you're having a good time. Maybe you got a little drunk, but you know what? They're not going to like call the cops on you. They're just going to be like, hey, buddy, let's get you back to your hotel. You know, like they never wanted you to go home saying, God, I had a miserable time in Vegas. They don't want that story. They don't, that's not the kind of word of mouth they want. And it had been like that every time I'd ever visited Vegas. Like you just go out there and you just don't worry about things. You don't worry about the news. You don't worry about what's going on in the world. You can just sit down at a table, you know, have a few drinks, play a little money, whatever it is you want to do, and come back with a good story. This is the first time I came back where I was just like, man, I kind of had a bad time. And it's unfortunate because, you know, this was supposed to be a good thing for the city, but it was pretty bad all around.
Did you go in thinking you were going to have a good time? Or did you know of all the, like, we've been talking about this shit show for months on the show. So, like, had you been keeping up with, and so you kind of, and it was worse than you expected, or was it as you expected, or?
I think my excitement was definitely tempered by the news reports, but at the same time, I've had so many good experiences in Vegas. It was like, you know, it'll all come together at the end, like Disneyland, you know, like, he's like, well, you know, maybe the rides won't work, but you know, there'll still be smiles on people's faces. But the reality is that like getting into restaurants, getting reservations. Well, that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. A lot of these restaurants, especially like anything that's like famous or celebrity chef endorsed, they had special F1 menus. So even if you had made reservations, one of the things they wouldn't tell you was it was a special menu that is, of course, like a set price and like 10 times more than you would have normally spent on, you know, the same kind of food. Every one of the restaurants was doing this. So, and they often wouldn't say it. Like you just make reservations, you get there and it's like, surprise, you know, it's like $500 of buy-in minimum tonight. So yeah, there was those kinds of things were going on in places that like, you know, a normal meal would have been like, you know, maybe like $125, you know, not cheap, but at the same time, like not 500. So, I mean, I like to eat, like, you know, I like going to Vegas. I like getting a few good meals. I like, you know, just being out there, but that kind of soured that side of things. Not being able to get around really soured things. You really couldn't have gotten a rental car to get away from the downtown if you'd wanted to, and like why? That's like the whole reason why you're there. Yeah, it just wasn't.
Were the casinos themselves busy?
Yes, the casinos were busy. That said, from what I had heard from the different cabbies in the area, they had expected about twice as they were promised twice as many people as that showed. Oh, that's one thing. So a flag drop on a taxi during that whole event was $20. Flag drop. So that meant just to get in and sit down, you were already paying 20 and a quarter to get somewhere. And then of course, getting anywhere was taking 3 times longer. But because of that, the cabbies that I did talk to, they basically said, yeah, like you're only my 6th customer today and I'm about to clock out. 6 customers. I mean, can you imagine? I felt bad for them because there's just no way they can, you know, you got to pay for your, you know, your medallions and your, you know, if you're some of those places use like rent your taxi, you know, with the medallion, that kind of stuff. I don't know what the situation with Uber was or Lyft, but didn't sound good from the taxi point of view.
It didn't look like people were moving around by cars very well, at least from some of the videos and the pictures that we saw. I mean, it almost seemed pointless to try to get a car and just walk.
But then to walk anywhere, everyone was being funneled through these little side streets and overpasses and being yelled at by security the whole time. Again, just doesn't add to the like, let's go have the fun Vegas experience.
So we were talking a little bit before the show here about those glass windows on some of those overpasses and stuff, how people are peeling off that plastic. Do you mind sharing what you told us about that, about why they had that there and what the purpose was?
I mean, I think everyone knows what the purpose was, and that was to cut down on cameras and video of people, you know, capturing the races. Vegas framed it and sold it as this is for basically your own protection. This is for Homeland Security purposes. We don't want crowds, so we're going to block visible places where people can crowd around and try and capture a glimpse of these things. So even though you could have pressed your face against it and seen out it, or even pressed your camera against it and seen the track, it prohibited the ability for large crowds to form on those. Not to mention, again, adding on top of that, this private security and the yelling and everything else.
It was ushering everybody.
Yeah. So you had to constantly be moving. And, if you've never been to Vegas, I think a lot of people don't necessarily get the scale of just how big those casinos are. I mean, they're bigger than like the Mall of America. Like they're huge. So just trying to like funnel you around through these places, one casino could have taken a good 10 minutes to traverse from end to end.
One city block in Vegas is like probably 3 or 5 city blocks.
Yeah,
in New York, right?
For sure.
It's long.
Yeah.
All right. What about the actual race? So what happened? Saturday night?
So the race was great. I mean, I think considering everything that Ferrari had going against them, I think they made a good showing. Came up from the end like 10 places. I think. I mean, like pretty.
Like I said, I fell asleep. I tried to stay up to watch race stream and watch the race. I saw that they brought the classic cars in with all the drivers, and I saw one of the cars leaked oil, and they had to get like a tow truck to tow it out of there. So, and it was just like one mess after the other, and the race hadn't even started yet.
Yeah, so. The initial there was the first car in the first turn had spun out, or maybe this was like the second lap. But yeah, that caused a lot of problems for the racers. But then there was like another spin out, maybe in like the 11th or 12th lap, I think, which caused some problems. But I mean, overall, Red Bull had a good win. I think Ferrari, they were livid from what had happened, but they did the best they could and made a good showing.
That car was trashed, right? That's the car that they're spending a lot of time working on, and they have a spare, but it's not quite as tuned as what they've been working on, is my understanding. Is that correct?
I think the big thing is that they already had penalties in the season, so that penalty dropped them like 10 places.
I got you.
To use that car. So just the fact that it was being used was already a huge hit.
Yeah. Where were you sitting? Where were you in terms of where was your seats?
I was in front of the Venetian. There had some grandstands right there at that corner.
Grandstands.
But my room actually had visibility of the track, so I could see everything from the sphere around to formerly the Treasure Island. I think it's being changed as well. There's a lot of big changes happening in the casinos. It's a story for another discussion. MGM hasn't been doing well, so they're actually selling a lot of their properties to another company. And I think they're going to focus their efforts on more the north side of the strip, closer to like Resorts World and stuff like that. But the MGM, I think, is now going to become the MGM Grand anyways. I think it's going to be the new Hard Rock.
Okay.
I forget the exact details. But that said, yeah. So I had a pretty good view of the track from my room. So like even when they were racing at 3 a.m., I could actually just open my window and see the trials.
How was everybody after the race? Like I'm sure everybody was kind of frustrated with the days leading up to. Were spirits decent as everybody was walking away? Were people upset still even after the race? Like what was kind of the crowd?
I feel like the crowd was just relieved it was over after everything that had been going on. At least that was how I felt. I did hang out the next day, and you can kind of see things getting taken apart and.
They started right away, right? Like as soon as the race was over in the middle of the morning.
They immediately were taking on the grandstands in front of the Caesar's Palace. So they were just done. Like they wanted it off the streets, and I think people just wanted their normal Vegas lives back, whatever that means.
Well, I mean, they were driving on the racetrack for a while, right?
So they would build it and close it multiple times a day.
Okay.
The grandstands would stay in place, but the loop itself would be closed in. I think it was by like 3 or 4 o'clock they would close the loop. And then that would cut your access off to a lot of areas of Vegas. So like after 4 o'clock, like you couldn't actually get to the Sphere. There was no way to go there. But that wasn't really important. But people who were visiting wanted to go see it. So,
did you go? Did you go see it?
Well, I had a perfect view from my room. I could see the whole thing. So they were running there's little animations that run on it, flags and for the anthem. And
I wanted to ask you about the Sphere because obviously you see the pictures, you see the videos online, and I doubt it does it any justice. But when you see that face on there and the eyes are like following the racers around the track in person, was that just like really cool or was it kind of gimmicky?
It's really cool.
I was hoping you were going to say that because I thought it was.
I thought he was going to say it was gimmicky, to be honest. I can't lie. I thought he was going to say that.
In the most gaudy Vegas fashion, it is incredibly awesome. It really is. And as much as controversy surrounded it and not making expectations and profits and the CEO stepping down, it looks really cool.
I'm better at actually, night, obviously, when it's got,
Yeah, well, during the day you can still see it. I mean, it's pretty bright, but at night, they were running this animation of like the weather patterns of the Earth on it, and I was maybe about a block and a half away from it while they were doing that, looking up at it, and it's really amazing. It's like a planetarium, but from the outside. It's super cool.
And imagine what it looks like on the inside,
Right? During one of those shows, I definitely would like to see one of those.
So here's the million.
I have a question at the end, Jeff, before we cut out. Okay. I do want to ask one question.
Okay. All right. It's a two-part question. One, obviously, I know the answer. You're going to go back. You're going to keep going to Vegas. That's, But would you go to an F1 race again if in Vegas if you were asked?
Man, that's a tough question. So first part is I'm going back for my birthday, which is like in 3 weeks. So I'll be back out there. But I don't know if I would do another F1, and they've signed up for 10 years of doing this.
They did.
So they got 1 under their belt, 9 to go. But from what I'm hearing, there's lots of things going on that there really aren't being discussed. I think T-Mobile's trying to back out of their endorsement because they had like a 3-year deal with it. There are a few other class action lawsuits floating around based on the fact that people got kicked out without refunds and anything else you could name. So what that means to the the races or not, I really couldn't say long term. If it'll even be there, or maybe they'll move it somewhere off strip. I don't know. Would I go though? I don't know if I would. I think I got my experience. Oh, one of the most ridiculously, I don't have these kind of problems, but I don't know if you noticed, they saw the tweet that went out, and this guy was complaining about. So he went to have his private jet fly in, and they couldn't accommodate parking for his jet, and he was complaining on Twitter that he's like, hey, every time I've been to Monte Carlo, this has never been a problem. Like, why do I have to do better, Vegas? I couldn't park my jet.
Was it Elon? Was it Elon?
No, it wasn't Elon, but it was definitely a type of lifestyle that I am not privy to. But
if he's there for the weekend, they could take the jet somewhere else. Like, it doesn't have to stay there.
Right. So they had to send the jet to another airport while they were there for the races. Yeah. But at the same time, it was just like I had never even thought in my head about that kind of a complaint. So.
All the other races, they often will say, here's all the jets lined up for all the races. And you can they always do a shot of some airport when they have all these jets just lined up from everyone who flew in for the day. Yeah.
My question to you is this, all right. The folks that run the race in Vegas are watching this show right now, hypothetically. What 3 things would you say they absolutely have to fix? And you've probably already said some of them, but what 3 things should they absolutely fix to make it worth people's time to go again?
We're just giving them the hard questions, aren't we? We promised him a fun 15 minutes. And here we are, half hour in. Now we're putting them under the microscope.
Well, I mean, the first thing is that they literally would rather have empty grandstands than and money than just give out seats to people for the races. And that is ridiculous to me. You not only you blocked off like everything in any other kind of view other than 30-story casinos that you don't want to let people just throw the tickets on, I don't know. There's a lot of reseller sites. I mean, at least you'd get something for that seat, right? Like that just seems ridiculous. So, does that mean they have to reconsider their pricing or maybe put more packages together or something like that? I don't know. But I feel like that's an insult.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're alienating certain types, certain incomes, things like that too, right?
Yeah, but like you think about it, like there are plenty of people in this world who could afford to be there. Why weren't they there?
That's a good point.
And I think like, one of the problems is maybe I'm generalizing, and Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Americans just don't care about European sports, either auto or team. Like they've always got their own way of doing things, and I think that like they need to fix that problem first. How do you get people excited about it? Yeah. Certainly yelling at them in the streets isn't doing that. It's like not a good start,
Yeah.
Then yeah, I think that would be like the one, and then getting people in the seats, and then
yeah.
Oh man.
What about the time? Because it was a late start again. It was like 1 a.m. for Ryzak, and I fell asleep. I wanted to watch it. I fell asleep. Well, and I know they're also catering again to the people out in, where if 10 o'clock is here, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. out there. Sure, when the race is over there at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. here, right? Dismal gets up early to watch the race because he's in your time zone, right? So if it's 6 o'clock here, 3 o'clock, so time zone's always an issue, right? But
they were running different runs though at different times before that, and I feel like that does help to a degree, I think, to kind of I don't know, address that situation. You can't make everyone happy in that situation. There's just no way of doing it. But
it sounds to me like there's not 3 easy fixes.
Well, and I think that's usually what a shit show entails. Like it's a lot of problems, and probably people who are much smarter than me and paid a lot more will be spending time over the next 9 months trying to figure that out.
For these races, it's a week-long event, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's concerts, there's shows going on, there's events that people are going to with the drivers. You have all the practices, before you actually get to the race. Like it's a whole event for those that are going there for that entire week. And it doesn't sound like there was a lot of thought put into the experience. As crazy as that sounds, it just doesn't seem like there was a lot of care put into what else people were doing outside of, you're coming to this race and you're gonna watch the race or you're not gonna watch the race. Vegas tried to do stuff, but in Vegas ways, trying to capitalize on the event and the money. It kind of made it, I think, a little ridiculous for a lot of the people that went, especially when that practice gets canceled and now you're out all that other money. You didn't even get to see what you went for. And so now you've got to change your plans. I wasn't planning on going to get dinner, but now I got to go get dinner or, whatever. So it just, from the outside looking in, that's what it felt like to me. And I think it's great perspective from you, having been there, to kind of break some of those things down. So I know it was a tough question, what 3 things would you fix? But I don't think it's that easy. And that's kind of more or less what I was hoping to get out of you. And I think I did. So you answered it very well.
Did I pass the interview?
You did.
Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say that you want to say that we didn't address or talk about, or?
No, I think that kind of
covers for Ray that we can use against him.
Oh, Huggy Bear.
Oh.
No,
I love it.
All right, you heard it here first. See, breaking news on this show every week.
How do you change a name in Discord? How do you change somebody's name?
Right click.
I'm asking for a friend.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, thank you, sir, for dropping in. I know we talked about it, and I said last night, hey, do you want to come on? And you're gracious enough to. We promised you 15 minutes, and it's been 40, so or almost 35 or something. And you're late.
We enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for having me.
You're welcome to stay, or you can leave. Whatever you want to do. We can get on with the show.
You're gonna eat dinner, huh?
I'm going to be late for dinner, so I better
better go.
All
right.
Thanks again, Graphics Gear.
Bye.
See ya.
Take care. Talk to you soon. That was really good. It's good to it's good, because we talk about that race, or we have talked about that race so much, like you said, leading up to it, and then as it was going on, and we knew that he was there, boots on the ground. So to get that either confirmation or kind of help fill us in some of the things we were questioning or we were confused about. So, and as he was talking, I could almost like envision some of those things, like walking by that glass. You're looking at a picture of the glass with people peeling that stuff off. You're not really thinking about the security guard that's there ushering people along. Like, I can just envision like the chaos that was going on those overpasses and such. So
I saw some TikToks. I think I may or may not even have sent them to you. There was some security lady just yelling and screaming at people.
You sent me that
keep
one.
Keep it going. I saw her several
but you don't
different
know
times.
If that's like, is that sustained, or is that just like that moment? So
yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
So no, good stuff. Graphics here. That was amazing.
Thank you, Graphics.
Excellent guest.
Thank you.
Guest.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess this is now where we kind of fall back to the beginning of our normal show. Quickly running through this, Jeff. NHL news. The night after our last show, the Panthers played the Senators, and there was 167 total penalty minutes in the game, but 106 of them came from one incident on the ice. Everybody on the ice received penalties, and here's the referee announcing this. You can see he's like, okay, we got 2 minutes for this guy, we got 2 minutes for that guy, we got 4 minutes over here, 4 minutes over there, and then right here, everybody else on the ice is getting a 10-minute misconduct. Sometimes these things happen in hockey where a whole team will go to the penalty box or whatever in a fight and this and that, but this one was this one was brewing throughout the whole event. And I think the thing that makes this a little bit more interesting is that on Florida, you have Matthew Tkachuk, and on Ottawa, you have Brady Tkachuk. And so there's videos of the brothers jawing at each other. It was kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. So you saw this as well. What were your thoughts on it?
Oh, it just made me laugh because you sent me the penalty sheet, and then I'm like, I got a video. Here's the video of it. So I saw this.
This poor ref, There was another ref that had given a penalty to somebody on the Penguins, and Chris Letang, one of their defensemen, had walked by, and he was like chirping at the ref, and the ref finishes his penalty announcement, turns to him, and he goes, "Do you want to join him?" He's on hot mic as he's doing it. So it's just kind of funny. Some of these refs have a good sense of humor. Nobody likes to give refs credit, but all right. Yeah. This one just happened last night. You hadn't heard about this one yet, so let me break this down. Ime Udoka, that guy right there you see in the video with the bald head, he is now the coach of the Houston Rockets. He was the coach of the Boston Celtics. He was relieved of his duties for some personnel matters, whatever you want to call it. Not here to get into that. But LeBron James has a reputation around the NBA as being a little bit of a flopper, being a little bit of a prima donna. He's the NBA is wrapped around his finger, yada, yada. You name it, people have said it. Well, in that play that was just showing there, a player drives in the lane on LeBron. LeBron wants a travel on the play, who, let's be honest, LeBron has many a travel in his career where he started walking without even dribbling the ball, okay? Yeah. The ball is passed to another player down on the post who goes up against Anthony Davis, who's standing right there. They call a foul on Anthony Davis. LeBron doesn't like it. So he had just yelled for the travel. Now he's saying, like, what the heck? And so Ime, who is the coach of the Rockets, is pretty much like, hey, stop complaining. LeBron and him have some words, and then the words on the screen here is the audio that people have now broken down. And Udoka's like, man, stop crying like bees, man. And LeBron's like, we're all grown men, man. That word's not cool. Like, don't be using it. And Udoka just keeps going after him. He calls him soft. He's saying, like, what are you going to do about it? Why are you walking over here? You're not going to do anything about it. And so you have a coach that's antagonizing a player, regardless of who it is. They both get technicals. The referee kicks the coach out. They interview LeBron after, and he's like, you know what, man, it is what it is. I'm going to go home. I'm going to drink my wine. I'm going to watch football tomorrow. Like, this isn't going to bother me. My question to you is, having been a former basketball coach at the high school level, okay?
Sure.
I don't know if I've ever talked to a player on another team during a game to try to antagonize them, right? Now, I've had talks with players after a game when we're walking off the court, but not during the game.
Yeah.
Who do you think in this situation is on the wronger side? Do you think LeBron needs to stop complaining? Do you think the coach shouldn't have been getting
I think their players are always going to complain. Every sport, doesn't matter what it is, right? Whether it's a bad pitch, football, baseball, whatever. But you know what? He's the coach. He is the coach. He is the head coach of a professional sports team, right? So it's no different than, if, Andy Reid going up and starts yelling and, yelling at Jalen Hurts or whatever, you're the head coach of a professional sports team. You got to act like that, right? You're not, it's different if you're a high school coach, college, whatever, but you're the head coach.
Yeah. And especially with him having a little bit of trouble at his last job.
Well, that too.
Why are you drawing attention to yourself? Look, again, this is LeBron James. It's not like LeBron James needs anybody to coddle him. I mean, dude's 6'9", like 260. I mean, whatever. Yeah. And I guarantee you, if you look at the two of their careers, LeBron has the better career, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think that, you have children that are watching, you have younger players that are watching, you have coaches that are watching.
Gotta set the example.
You got to set an example. So I agree. That's kind of why I wanted to bring this up. So good stuff there.
Beautiful.
All right, let's move to football. That is your favorite sport. We got to start talking about hot seats, Jeff. It is that time. We're about 3/4 of the way through the season. Frank Reich has already lost his job. These are some other coaches on the hot seat. We were talking a little bit before. Are there any other names that you would add to this list you see here?
You wanted to throw on Drabel from the Giants.
Drabel,
Poophead from that team.
One we didn't talk about earlier was Eberflus with the Bears. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah. I think there's going to be I think this is going to be the most head coach vacancies when we're all said and done, or if not the most, it'll be up there in terms of coaches.
I mean, what about Atlanta? Arthur Smith down there in Atlanta, he hasn't done anything with the team.
Yeah.
And then I said to you earlier, I mean, this might not be the season. They're not having a losing season yet, but the Seahawks at some point, Pete Carroll's like 77 years old or something like that. Like at some point, that franchise is going to have to go a different direction, I think. Yep. So
it'd be interesting to see what Belichick does. Does Belichick walk away? Does he will not get fired like everyone else does. They will come to some sort of agreement, or he's going to retire or something.
He's earned that,
Yeah. And is he going to end up in Carolina? And there was a lot of reports about what David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, was doing with the number 1 pick and who he picked. And David Tepper, just because you picked one guy over the other guy, and that other guy is having success and your guy is not, and you've got one win, the two don't translate, right? So if you had the different player, you'd probably be still in the same boat. There's a lot of a lot of stuff going on, right?
Thank you, Crow. I was a little off. He's only 70, not 77. He looks 77. Not that I think there's a difference in how you look between 70 and 77.
And I guess we got to figure out when his gum contract is up. Who's the gum sponsor and what's
who is his gum sponsor? Is he like Ace Ventura, just like putting whole pack in his mouth?
Well, in the game against the 49ers, like she took out a piece, he just turned around and whipped it into the crowd or something. It's just like, heads up, there's flying gum. So I guess Crow, is that his football contract? Is that the gum contract? That would be, it's like NASCAR. He's got an official gum sponsor.
Yeah.
I
think Belichick's really going to set the tone for the coaching carousel. I read the other day that Carolina could also be interested in Harbaugh, depending on what happens with Michigan. And then this isn't NFL related, but I don't know if you heard there's reports that Gruden might go to college.
Reports about everything. So yeah. What's Vegas going to do?
Allegedly.
What's Vegas going to do? In their situation,
Antonio Pierce might have deserved some more time there. I mean, he might.
But that's not what they do.
Yeah, I mean, Washington definitely has to move on from Ron Rivera, and then Staley, I think, will definitely be out with the Chargers. I saw some ridiculous stats since Justin Herbert was drafted. They're a 500 team, and the points are equal, or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit more against than for, like maybe like 2 or 5 points, something like that. It's
basically basically yes, basically
yeah.
They had a stat. They had a stat on tonight's game. The first however many games with Jordan Love versus Rodgers, and they're identical.
It's almost identical.
Yeah, almost identical. So and they're winning. They're beating Kansas City. So
they are, and the weather is pretty nasty, so that plays to.
You can't tell that on the television, the TV broadcast. I can't tell that it's. Okay. It might be cold.
It looked like it was raining and cold, right before the game.
It's Green Bay. It's always raining and cold.
So. Well, that's back-to-back shitty weather games for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
and not to make any excuses for the Eagles by any means, but they have played 3 games in 13 days. So I mean, when those schedules come out and you look at that, I mean, mentally and physically, you have to get yourself prepared. But there's things that happen during the season that it just doesn't happen. And San Francisco is a hot team right now. I mean. Yep. They're clicking. So and they didn't start off clicking, but then once they got that first one, it was just dominoes after that, right? So
Yep.
It's good stuff.
All right.
We'll be talking about coaches more in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. Did you hear about, Jeff? Last week we talked about Hall & Oates, how there was a restraining order that was issued. We got some more news out this week. Basically, Daryl Hall wanted the restraining order to temporarily block John Oates from selling his share of the duo's joint venture. So it's not, it wasn't like a restraining order, like he was threatening him, anything like it was business related.
Yep, and that makes total sense. Taylor Swift sold off all her stuff. Yeah. That's why she's re-releasing under the stuff, because she realized that was a mistake. Other artists have sold off the rights to their. I don't even know who owns the rights to the Beatles songs. Crow probably can look it up, but I don't even know. I don't think it's
Michael Jackson at some point.
Yeah, but I don't even know who owns the rights to the Beatles songs. So at some point, people cash out, and I think that's what he wanted to do. And Daryl Hall said no, so he got a judge to stop it.
Yeah,
till they figure it out.
I mean, he's 50% of it too, so
it is. It is. His name comes first. Well, his name comes first. So
that's true.
I'm just saying.
Just a little update on that, so we can stay current. This is all you right here. I'm gonna let you roll.
So allegedly, somebody had allegedly. Well, unless it's been proven in court, allegedly, there was some articles that were published by Sports Illustrated, and somebody figured out or accused them of it all AI generated. And then they're like, oh, no, we outsourced it to this other company. Those are real people. I don't know if they actually produce those real people, but so I think this is the first of many. Like you were playing around with AI. Everybody's playing around with AI. Companies are going to find
I told you my work has their own now.
Yeah. Everyone's going to find a way to not have to pay. If they cannot pay somebody and they can auto-generate, content and put the content up there.
Who is this model, this AI model that's become like Alita or something like that?
I don't know.
You'll have to look that up. Well, I should have put that in here. There's an AI model now who's like the top model in the world, but it's AI, and I'm pretty sure the name is Alita on Twitter, and it has like interactions like it's a real person. It has pictures like it's a real person, and it everything is built into this AI model.
Right.
And it looks real, right? Like it looks real, and all the things they do with voice. And I was talking to you about how you can take a picture and make it video now, and so it's crazy. What's real? What's fake? How do you know? And I think you're supposed to be able to put this was made with AI, right?
They knew YouTube rules because of that. You're supposed to do that. Yes. I mean, I've seen some people post, and they're like, oh, who's doing that content? Who's that hot chick that they got there? No, it's an AI hot chick. And I'm pretty sure when I looked at it, they're not tagging that it's supposed to. So I report them.
It's scary too to think, I know this is probably a little left field, but OnlyFans, right? You're going to have people that are going to be paying for OnlyFans, and it's a fake AI model.
So I'll rest assured, my OnlyFans will always be pure Jeffy. No AI Jeffy. Rest
all
assured.
9 toes.
Rest assured, every image you see on my OnlyFans is actually the real Jeffy. There is no. Rest assured, Ray. Rest assured.
Yes, because we know Ray is very worried that your content is going to go fake.
Well, he wants he wanted me to step up my content game for next year for 2024. So yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, this story here, I actually wanted to talk to Graphics Gear about this when we were talking about the casinos. Mark Cuban selling his majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks to Miriam Alderson, who is casino tycoon.
She is.
Of the Alderson family, right? I believe they are. They're not MGM. I can't remember the head of the casino chains that they run. Yeah. But anyway, Mark Cuban buys the Mavericks for what, $300 million in like 99 or something like that, and sells his majority share for $3.5 billion. However, he stays as the controlling manager.
So it's a valuation. He didn't sell it for $3.5 billion. It's the valuation of the team,
of the franchise,
Correct.
Okay, so that's not cash in his pocket.
No,
that's
she sold. Correct. That's what. Yeah, based on the shares and how you value companies and stuff like that, right?
Yep. So it's not just Mark Cuban, right? He has investors that are owners as well.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I think he owns.
He sold 100%?
I think so. Yeah, he may have brought in some minority guys, like Chermantz used to be a minority owner of the Golden State Warriors.
I wonder if Nowitzki got any shares when he retired.
So he may have brought some people over. But yeah, she sold $2 billion in stock to pay for it. He's still going to retain control. So I asked Callie Drew Voss. I said, "Is gambling legal in Texas?" And he goes, "No." I say, "If we want to gamble, we have to go.
Oklahoma.
We have to go to Oklahoma, or depending on where you are in the state, whatever others. I don't know my U.S. geography.
New Mexico,
wherever, right? So I think this is the first step in bringing legalized gambling to Texas.
Well, because when we first heard about this, I think my first reaction was, what's coming next? Because he had just gotten, off of Shark Tank. He just, ended Shark Tank. Now he's selling the Mavericks. And when people make big moves like this, they're setting up for something. And you said to me, presidential run, ? And that was really floating around out there. But it sounds like he is pushing to what you were just saying to try to help get legalized gambling in the state of Texas, because he's been trying to push off like a new stadium with shopping and a casino and some gambling, stuff like that. And so this is sounding like he wants this to be a bigger business venture, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's still going to run the Mavericks. He's still going to be, he's still going to be running it. But yes, I think
he's going to let someone else take the risk.
He's going to have someone else take the risk, and then he can invest in the greater, obviously he's going to get casino money, and the gambling money, bet mark betmark.com, betcuban.com.
And the other point to getting her in was because she and her family, I'm talking about the Adelsons, may be able to privately fund a new arena, which takes no taxpayer money to do that.
Correct. And if they legalize gambling, then yes, I could see
they'll make that back tenfold in the first year.
Yeah.
You know how many people would be in there?
Fun fact about my boy Cubes. He, and at the time, I don't know if he still does, he holds the Guinness record for largest e-commerce transaction. He bought his $40 million plane online with a credit card.
With crypto?
No, it was before crypto.
With a credit card.
Mind you, this is also the guy who his credit card was declined the night of the championship when they won the world championship, and they were at the club or wherever, and his credit card was declined.
His timeline is pretty amazing for, his first software company to the Mavericks to now, Shark Tank, all the businesses that he's dealt with on Shark Tank. And they're not all winners, right? I mean, you don't always win in business. You've got to fail too, but he's had some really big wins, I think and he's very vocal too on social media.
Well, the other thing, who was I talking to? Was it you I was talking to? The big thing that he's focusing on, which may also lead into it, is his discount drugs. His discount drugs. Yeah, the discount drug thing. Now, again, free. I live in Canada, so I don't understand this discount. Whatever. And you probably can speak to it better than I can. But yeah, I think he wants to expand that as well. And so I think getting out of the Mavericks, getting out of Shark Tank. And don't forget the deals you see on Shark Tank, just because they go, I'll give you $1 million. And 90% of the time they don't actually sign contracts, because once they start doing the due diligence, they actually the accountants start looking at it, and the lawyers start looking at it, they find out that a lot of stuff is a load of crap. Right. So a lot of deals don't get done.
Well, a lot of that stuff is built up for the show too, right? You've been on TV. You understand that there's
all real. All real.
To stuff.
All real.
Yeah.
All real.
Hey, well, something else that apparently is real, nice segue there, is that this GTA 6 footage was leaked.
Hey, Ricky just popped in. Look at that GTA 6, Ricky.
Ahead of time, ahead of the announcement. This guy, Slime Punch, or Slime, he worked for Rockstar. His 16-year-old son allegedly leaked this footage from his work computer. And Rockstar has terminated him for doing so.
Allegedly.
I got to be honest here, man. And I've been thinking about this, I think, from a different way, from a parent way, right? Would I want to murder my child? Like what? Like, how do you do that to me, kid? Like, to get some clicks on TikTok, but at the same time, was it their plan? Get a little bit of fame, get a couple of clicks. F this place. I've been here forever. I don't want to be here anymore. I'll show you guys. There's got to be more to it than just that, right?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Tuesday. Tuesday is the actual dropping of the video. And if this is in it, then we know it's real. I think it's a load of crap. I think whoever's doing it is doing it again for clicks and views. And here we are, two dumb heads talking about it. And other posts, people are viewing it and doing stuff. And I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Tuesday if it's real or if we see this in the video. Unless Rockstar is quickly re-editing the video, which I know they're not. So
we'll see. There's a big week of announcement coming up. So,
dude, Green Bay going with the tush push. Nice.
Uh-oh.
Green Bay going with the tush push.
Which Roger Goodell wants to ban from the league now.
I fully support that. It only takes 9 teams to veto it. So
yeah.
I guess we'll see. I don't know. Do I trust a guy named Slime?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do I trust a guy named Slime?
Depending on who you are and what you care about, some of the biggest news this week was probably the fact that the Cybertruck is it's rolled off the production line, Jeff, and you're going to start seeing them out there in the wild.
I don't think I will.
This video here shows a Tesla racing a Porsche 911 Turbo,
Allegedly,
while pulling. I thought it was going to show it there while pulling a Porsche 911 Turbo. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Towing capacity, 5 to 12,000. We were talking earlier. Marcus did a video. He was really breaking it down, showing some stuff. He was riding it in beast mode. So the battery, the mileage range was not quite what it was listed and advertised as. There's countless videos of people kicking them, shooting them, throwing shit at them. Like everybody's wanting to break it, and it doesn't seem like that's happening yet. It seems to be built very well. Everybody that's getting their hands on it seems to just be in awe. Are there a lot of people with Teslas in your area? Is Tesla becoming a popular car?
There is where I used to live, higher density of wealthy people. So there was a lot of them near where I used to live. However, one street over and like 3 blocks up south of me is a mall, and in the mall they've got 10 Tesla parking spots. And there's always, no matter what time of day or night I drive by, 2 or 3 cars during the day.
Charging stations, you mean?
Charging at the charging stations, yes.
That was going to be my next question to you is what is that? Do you know what that charging infrastructure looks like for you all? Is it something that's not really there? Is it getting there? Because that's all the rage here, right? They want charging stations everywhere.
It depends. Where I used to have my cottage, the little beach town, doesn't have one. The next town over did have a charging station. Like I said, this mall has one, and I'm coming home. I come home at some weird times from whatever I'm doing, and it's like 10:30 at night. There's 3 cars parked in the mall. Mall's been closed for an hour and a half, and there's 3 cars. Where are you people? You guys just sitting in your car waiting for the thing to charge, or did you? Because nothing's open except the McDonald's. So I'm off.
Because it depends on the charger. I think you can get like 100 miles in like 15 minutes on the supercharger or something like that. But the one thing that I will definitely give Elon credit for is he's definitely trying to change the game a little bit. So they just opened up to where those superchargers, or maybe it's not the superchargers, maybe it's the other chargers, but all the other types of vehicles can now. There's an adapter there so that they can charge the other types of vehicles, right? So he's not just trying to make it like a Tesla only thing like it was in the beginning. And so, I have respect for that. I had one of these reserved. I had canceled my reservation. I canceled my reservation when he bought Twitter because I was just like, you know what? There's just too much going on. This thing continually gets pushed back, pushed around. I don't know if I'm feeling it anymore. Not to mention, I mean, you're talking about $80,000 to $100,000 or more, depending on the model you get, right? And Jeff, we're doing okay, but that's a lot of money to spend on a car or a truck that I've got questions about still. We were talking, before just about batteries, and you have to change batteries. Like you can't just continually charge these things forever. Like you're going to have to swap them. Like the recycling programs, the cost. Like I just have so many questions still, and I don't have play money to go throw $80,000 to $100,000 into a vehicle and then have to do any kind of major maintenance or repair or something like that, replace batteries. Like I wouldn't be able to. I'd be paying a payment, So for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now.
I have a Ford C-Max, which is a hybrid. So it does the electricity, but also has gas.
Yeah, I believe that's the best way to go right now, to be honest.
Yeah, because I could have got a Tesla, but I also was there was really nowhere to charge it between here and where I would go a lot, which was my old cottage.
Yeah,
there was no Tesla charging station. So yeah, I could make it there, and then I'd have to always worry about where I'm going and other things, and because there just wasn't. It's getting better, but it's still not. If you're staying, if you're staying in the cities, you're fine. But if you're going to cottages like we do over here, right? Ricky can tell you, A lot of people go to cottages and things. They're just, if you can make it the 400, 500, 600 kilometers and on your charge, and good, and then you can charge it, even if it's a slow charge once you get there, great. But I wanted the gas option because I did not want to have to I didn't have to want to think about it.
And again, things are advancing, right? Like you can point out your trip on the screen and it'll tell you where.
Oh yeah.
It'll plot your trip for you for the charging station. It's another thing you have to worry about.
I've got the apps, and so a couple weekends ago when I went up to Owen Sound, I did fire up the app and say, "Is there any charging stations in Owen Sound? Is there anything nearby?" And yeah, I can plug it into a regular outlet. That's the other thing that appealed to me. Whereas the Teslas are 240s. This is just a regular 120. Yes. And even my friend said, she goes, did you need to charge your car? Like we had an outlet. You could have. I could have, but I didn't care because I used up the battery and it charges as I drive, like as I brake, and because I wasn't on the highway and I was doing a lot of braking at red lights and turns and this and that. Still, and I pulled up the display and I showed her as we were driving around, and you could see how little gas the car was using. It was, so it was a much better way to go.
That's good. I think that is, I think that's the smart way, the hybrid.
I think it'll
been out for 25 years now. It's been on the road. I think it's tried and true. And I think it's disappointing to not see more cars have gone to that hybrid model, especially trucks,
Yep. And I think it'll be a while before I see a cyber truck in Canada.
Yeah. Well, if I see one, believe me, I'm going to take a picture and I'll show you.
There might be, maybe in Toronto. Somebody might import one in. But
I have a dog that's trying to break into my office. Hold on, Jeff.
Oh dear. I can't run the control.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm right here. Sorry about that.
No worries.
The little Yorkie was freaking out at the door because she wanted to come in and lay beside me. All right. Let's move on. This one was kind of put a smile on my face, actually. This little boy here, he calls on Apple to redesign the offensive nerd emoji.
You know what? As a nerd, I support this.
I thought he was in a Halloween costume, to be quite honest with you.
I support as a nerd. As a nerd,
good on this kid. He saw something that he didn't like, and he's speaking up about it. He's going about it the right way. He looks like he's made a presentation about it. Like, I like this kid, man. He's going places. So maybe you'll see the nerd emoji be redesigned on the next iOS release. Maybe Apple will listen to him. We'll have to follow this and see if he actually gets them to change anything.
All right, there we go. Like it.
You had sent this one over to me. The world's biggest iceberg, about 3 times the size of New York City's, on the move. Did you look into this anymore?
I did not.
No.
I did not. I don't even remember. I'll be honest. I have Alzheimer's. I don't even remember sending it to you.
Well, it's a cool story, right? So it says it's been on the move. It's on the move after being stuck on the ocean floor for 37 years. So 37 years ago would have been what, 86? Am I right there?
I don't know.
I think that's the right math. So in 1986, this thing wasn't moving after moving, and now all of a sudden it's moving again. So, first thoughts from your climate activists are going to be about global warming and this and that. I think I would have to ask, like, where's it going to go? Who's it going to hurt? Like, how? I mean, because eventually, if it was to keep floating out, further into the ocean, the water's going to warm up. Does that do anything? Like, I don't know. Some of this stuff gets made a pretty big deal out of.
And it's also going to melt.
Yeah.
It's also going to melt, right?
Yeah.
It's also going to melt. So what happens when it melts?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
It just makes you really stop and think about how much Earth is water, how much of it is ice, how much of it we have no idea about. Like, it's interesting stuff.
Yep.
So
something to keep an eye on.
Right. It is. We'll check it out. We've got one last story here.
In episode 300, we will revisit.
Yeah.
See how the iceberg is doing.
This last story here is very controversial.
I know. I threaded Ray and just yelled bullshit on this morning.
Yeah, college football does not make a lot of good choices, and I think that there's going to be quite a bit of people chatting about this throughout this next week here. I don't think we're gonna stop hearing about this for a while. The final four are out for the college football playoff. You've got Michigan at undefeated number 1. You've got Michael Penix and Washington at number 2, who were on the outside looking in before this last game. You've got Texas at number 3 down there, and you've got Alabama sneaking in at number 4. Now, Georgia was number 1. They were undefeated. They lost by 3 points
to Alabama.
Right, to Alabama, and Alabama moves into the conversation instead of Georgia.
Correct.
The big snub, though, is Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State should have been that number 4 in a lot of people's eyes. They went undefeated this year. You know, they won the ACC championship. They beat 4 top 25 teams. They didn't give up over 30 points in a game for a single time all season. They're down to their 3rd string quarterback now, still just going nuts. I don't know if you follow Robert Griffin on Twitter or on the X, but he has been all over this story.
I don't follow him, but I see his tweets.
He is not happy about it. He's made a lot of really good points about it, but I put this up here for you. This is actually from the ACC commissioner, not Florida State, but the ACC commissioner.
Correct.
And just, you know, he's a little bit beside himself. Like, how can this be? How can an undefeated team who won their conference, they've beaten top 25 teams, they've done everything that they possibly can, and you let Alabama in, who did they lose 1 or 2 games, Jeff?
Just 1.
Just 1 game. Yes, they do knock off the eventual number 1, but they were on the outside looking in. Like, how does this happen?
They did knock off the 2-time defending champion
and broke their 37-game win streak or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. And even Texas was way on the outside looking in. Way on the outside looking in. You know, you can make an argument. Okay, you want to go Georgia.
Texas has a loss.
Texas also has a loss. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I know you were throwing around strength of schedule and you know all this other stuff, but it's I don't know.
Yeah, there's just a lot of questions about the process right now. Everybody's pining for like a 12-team playoff or at least like an 8-team playoff.
Next year,
you know,
next year will be 12.
Yeah. Expanded out.
Format to be determined. But I was saying to my son, we were talking about it, and I said, and then next year at this time, we're going to be talking about the 13th team. Well, how come they were the 13th? That should have been the 13th. You know, why?
Exactly.
Why
Nobody's ever going to be happy.
Yeah, there's going to be the a 13th team that got left out. But this is the part that.
You sent this over to me. I really wanted to make sure we got this in because they had to get the SEC in there. That's really what it boils down to, right? It had to be the SEC. And there's a lot of Georgia fans that are upset right now because they're like, we've been number 1. We won 37 games in a row. We demolished TCU in the championship last year, right? Like, we've beat Alabama. We've done this. We lost 1 game by 3 freaking points, and you kick us out of the top 4? Yeah.
And they've never done that. They've never taken a number 1 team when they've lost and kicked them out of the top 4.
No. So you got an undefeated Power 5 team out of the playoff, the SEC champion out of the playoff, that number 1 team dropping out of number 4, and they selected a team ranked outside of the top 6 in the AP poll.
That was Texas.
So what is the motivation for this playoff? You got to follow the dollar and cents, and I don't know that we've really done that yet. But you know, it's just crazy. College football is.
Wait. I'll be just keep talking for a second, folks.
Yeah, no problem. So, I think what was it? App State and JMU. They played a game a couple of weeks ago. JMU's trying to be like a Division I football program, and they were playing App State. App State wound up winning, but Pat McAfee and the College Game Day crew, they were there. Pat McAfee not very happy about the way JMU was getting treated.
You know, we're very unbiased on this show.
Yeah.
So we're very unbiased on this show. So we don't take allegiances to any
Oh my God. And think about Michigan too, the year that they've had with the controversy, right? They haven't even had their head coach for the past 3 games, 4 games, whatever it's been.
He was no, he was back.
Oh, he was at the last one. That's right.
It was 3 games, but he had already served
3.
1 of 2, right? So he wasn't there for the big game against the Ohio
Penn State.
The Ohio State game.
And Penn State.
And Penn State, yes, but Ohio State. I think they're gonna say Patty's down. It's not a fumble.
That is absolutely hilarious. I'm shocked that he's not a Lakers fan. I'm shocked that he's not, yes. If the shoe fits, wear it. You do.
I don't understand this comment. I don't understand. I don't know what you mean, the Crow resin.
This is just one more mark to add to the ever-growing college football blunder list. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Do I have to get my Raptors jersey?
What we didn't talk about was all of these NIL deals with the transfer portal. How many of these kids are now putting themselves in the transfer portal because of these NIL deals? We've talked NIL before, but there's some big names moving around in this next year for the money.
That's correct. So we'll talk about that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
hold on.
Know. Oh, you got to take the Michigan shirt off now. Just make sure the other one doesn't come up. Yep, there you go.
All right, there we go. All right, we're back.
Nicely done.
We're back.
You didn't want your video to have you in the Michigan shirt. Don't miss that branding opportunity, people. That is Jeff's lesson to you. I made a AI picture of the two of us to see if we could mess around with some logo stuff, and I asked it to put a duck on a white duck on the table that we were sitting at. And it actually made Jeff's person a duck, like a whole duck. And his first comment to me was, "Why am I a duck?" His second comment to me was, "It doesn't have my name on the shirt." And I was like, "You gotta be kidding me right now."
I was okay with the duck. I was like, but as long as I had that neck on it, then good. I was good with that. But
ridiculous. Oh, God.
But
all right. Well, I'm going to try to do this a lot better today. I'm going to try to be quiet and let you speak. And, you haven't made a video the past couple weeks because I've been a little long in the tooth. So, Jeff, it's now time for 5 guesses.
Nice. Okay. All right. Let's remove that. All right. So we're back to sports. We're going back to the sports. Going back to the sports ball. Just because
We're doing a draft?
We are not.
Okay.
So I just had you open. Where the hell did you go?
You're very prepared.
I'm very prepared. I had it open. What happened? Oh, is it on this phone? Maybe it's on this phone. Maybe it's on this phone. Oh, maybe it's on this phone. No, Twitter. Oh, crap. Nope, it's not on that phone. Yeah, crap. Don't worry, folks. I'll fix this in post-production. I'll fix this. I thought it was... It's not from Instagram. It's not from...
Lakers, the Celtics, Crow. Maybe he's a Rangers fan, New York Rangers fan. Maybe he's a New York Yankees fan or a Boston Red Sox fan.
What the hell? Where? I had it open right before.
You didn't memorize it, Jeff? I always memorize everything.
I didn't. It's that's not the camera. Is it on Twitter? No, it's not.
My notes are usually on the presenter.
Screenshots. Screenshots? Oh, it should be under screenshots. It was a screenshot, so it should be here. Where's screenshots? Screenshots.
Hey, make sure it's not a small JPEG. All right.
Should have been here before, Crow. I had to go and teach him how to. He didn't have file extensions on, so I had to take him into Microsoft Explorer and how to change, file extensions.
I'm a slug, man.
All right. So this is from IMDb. the Internet Movie Database, in case you didn't know
Okay.
what that stood for.
Yeah.
5 guesses. The top 10 sports movies. Top 10 sports movies according to the Internet Movie Database.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
I'm going to go with my first guess is going to be Hoosiers.
Nope. Not even close.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Apparently.
No Hoosiers, huh?
No. Nope.
Wow. All right. Wow. I really got to think about this then.
Yeah, you can guess too, Crow. Yeah, you can guess. Chat's off.
I can't remember the name of the Any Given Sunday.
Nope.
The Longest Yard.
Nice, Crow. Nope.
What?
So, Crow, you got 2 and 3.
Friday Night Lights.
Nope. You're gonna kick yourself when I tell you.
I probably am. Okay, let me try to simplify this a little bit. My favorite movie of all time is Rudy. Is that in there?
That's number 3.
Okay, Rudy is in there. All right, good. If Rudy wasn't in there, we were gonna have some issues. I can't believe Hoosiers isn't in there. What the? Oh my God. What is that movie that's got? It's the Gale Sayers movie. Oh God.
I wish that was in there, Crow, but it's not.
Major League.
No, and I'm surprised it's not.
Wow, man.
Yeah. No, Crow.
Yeah, wow, Jeff, you've really got me stumped now.
Okay, we're giving up on the 5 guesses now. Just start throwing out what is. So don't think of them. You're thinking of sports movies, but think of movies that have a sports theme. So, like number 1, what do you think the number 1 movie that could be about a sport?
Hoosiers. All right, hold on. A movie about a sport.
Well, that's what the topic is, Crow. It says sports movies.
The Mighty Ducks.
No.
Oh, come on,
No.
man.
Because you're thinking movies about a sport, but these are movies, but have a sports theme, like Rudy. Right? It's not about football. It's about the kid. It's a movie about Rudy that takes place around football. Right?
You got me good this time.
I thought this would be.
I am so wrapped around the axles of.
Okay, I'm going to give you one word. I'm going to give you one word.
Can you give me the sport? Give me the sport for number 1. Let me see if I can guess it.
If I give you the sport, you'll know who it is.
Oh, well, then never mind.
It's a person. The number one is a person. It is the first name of a person.
Jackie.
And if I told you the sport, you would know. I can give you one other hint. Adrian!
Oh, Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see Rocky. I can see. No Hoosiers, really?
No.
Um.
So Crow got number 2. You want to know number 2? Yes, Crow. Number 5. Not Benjamin Buttons. Rocky is not a sports movie.
What was that movie with the kids?
Bad News Bears? No, Crow said that it's not.
No. Okay.
The title says sports movies. That's what it says. I'm going by what the title of this says.
Can you put that back up there real quick?
From IMDb.
I'm not looking. The Sandlot?
Yes.
That's one?
Yep.
That's a really good movie. Not what I would have figured as a sports movie, though.
Well, that's what the title is. That's what I'm going to put your complain to IMDb.
Days of Thunder? Not Days of Thunder. You didn't say yes. All right, I want to take one more guess, Jeff, and then I'm done because I really don't know.
So Crow got number 2.
Is it like The Miracle on Ice or something?
No.
All right, I'm done.
So number 1 is Rocky.
Okay.
Number 2, Remember the Titans.
Oh, my high school's in that movie. Jesus.
You got number 3, Rudy.
Oh, Rudy's
number 4, A League of Their Own. I was trying to see, they weren't sports, like movies about sports. They are movies that had sports theme. Like A League of Their Own is baseball, right?
There's so many better movies than A League of Their Own.
That's IMDb. Complain to them. Not my list. It's IMDb. It's the internet movie database.
I'm not blaming you. I'm a little bit in awe. No Hoosiers?
You had Sandlot at number 5. Okay, number 6. Because if you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams.
Number 7. You probably are too young for number 7.
Bull Durham.
The funniest movie ever, Caddyshack.
Okay.
Number 8. It's another boxing movie. It's not Rocky.
Not Creed,
it's old.
Right?
It's older than Rocky.
Older than Rocky, then I don't know it.
Hoosier should be number 1. Crow agrees with you. Hoosier should be number 1.
Seriously, like what do we do? Gene Hackman? Come on, man.
And Crow forgot about Field of Dreams. All right, yeah.
I forgot about Field of Dreams too. I didn't think about that.
Number 8, boxing movie, Raging Bull.
Okay. I know the movie, but I wouldn't have. Guessed that one.
Number 9.
That's De Niro, right? Is that De Niro in that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Number 9, an interesting pick. And again, I don't have what the criteria was. You know, we always come back to what is our stupid criteria. Moneyball.
Okay, I can see that.
Right?
Man, I'm just really
Sanchez rolling in at the end with the Raging Bull. Yes, Sanchez. And then
he knew what it was. Son of a bitch.
Oh, you got Moneyball? Did I miss you say Moneyball? I'm sorry, Crow. If you said it, I may have missed
the chat on. So
I know. I have the chat up. Oh, you did say Moneyball after Tin Cup. I don't know. King George? Is that a...
Oh, you said Tin Cup? That's a good one, too.
Yeah, it's not on
That's
here.
a real good
The last one, if I tell you the sport, you got the movie. Like if I told you boxing, if I had said, because you said you're going to give me the sport, if I had said boxing, what would you have said?
I probably would have said Rocky.
Yeah. The Karate Kid.
The Karate Kid.
So let's recap. Number 1, Rocky. Number 2, Remember the Titans. Number 3, Rudy. Number 4, A League of Their Own. Number 5, Sandlot. Number 6, Field of Dreams. Number 7, Caddyshack. Number 8, Raging Bull. Number 9, Moneyball. And number 10, Karate Kid. Crow says he would never have said Rocky. Why not? Didn't it win like Oscars? Like didn't it win a Academy?
The criteria for this list.
Yeah, maybe I can. I don't know, but it's from
not that they're bad movies. Just when I think of sports movies, I think of sports movies. You know.
And that's why I was trying to get you away.
Sports movie ever.
Why I was trying to get you. They were movies, but they are.
Yeah. I just wasn't picking up what you.
I was trying to get you away from. Right. That's why I said you got Rudy. It's about Rudy. Oh, he plays football. He could have been playing baseball for all that mattered. Happened to play football, right? Yeah. So the movie was about Rudy. The movie's about Rocky. The movie
They're drama
is about
sports movies. That's what they are.
So,
well, you stumped me, Jeff. Way to go.
That was not my intention. I thought this would have been. I guess clearly, yeah, you were down the wrong down the
I
wrong
went
path.
down the wrong
And
rabbit
Crow's
hole.
going to argue. Crow's going to argue with me that these are not Wednesday night. We're going to have a heated discussion on
Because
stream.
I'll be honest with you, like there's a couple of movies that I would throw in there that I know people wouldn't think is great sports movies, but like Rookie of the Year was a classic movie. It's a great movie, you know. But
Crow says lots of boxing.
Days
movies.
of Thunder wasn't
Alley,
in there. Days of Thunder's a
$1 Billion
fantastic.
Baby, Southpaw. I was actually kind of surprised. Again, maybe these are sports drama movies. Maybe you feel Major League wasn't in there because it's not a drama.
Major
movie.
League,
maybe.
yeah.
I don't have the criteria. I just have what.
Yeah. No. I totally
right?
get it.
But
it's a good one. I mean, you got me. I was
that was not my. That's why I tried dragging you back. I'm like, look at Rudy.
Right.
It's about Rudy.
It is what it is. You know, I like to think of myself as a sports connoisseur, but I guess not when it comes.
I was trying to. I know, but well, you and Crow are going to argue to me that they're not sports movies, but they're
movies with sports in them. Yeah. I'm really shocked that Hoosiers wouldn't be on that. The Hoosiers. Anyway, all right. I would have thrown basketball in there.
But again, those are sports movies. These are movies.
Well, Love and Basketball is about two kids that grow up and fall in love. Like that. I mean, they just play basketball, but you know.
Yeah, but I actually had kind of forgotten about Caddyshack because that's a 70s.
Yeah,
that's a 70s classic. When I saw the list, I'm like, oh, Caddyshack.
Yeah, and Tin Cup. I didn't think about Tin Cup, so. I get it.
No, that wasn't on it. That was one of Crow's suggestions. That was one of Crow's guesses.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't on it. That wasn't on it, but that was one of Crow's.
Tin Cup is a great movie. I mean, then you could say Happy Gilmore, you know, like.
Yeah, maybe if I dug deeper on the criteria.
Space Jam?
One, of course, not two. One, of course.
I mean, is there any other option?
Well, there is a two.
There is, but it was yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to give a sneak peek about next week?
Sure. Hopefully nothing changes, but next week Jeffy Cakes is not going to be here, so I'm hoping that all goes well, and I'm going to be joined by the likes of the lovely Purple Haze, and we're going to see if maybe we can grab somebody else to come in and talk a little more basketball than what Jeff and I typically do, because that's
Crow, you might want to skip next week's show. It's going to be heavily sports related. So Crow, you might want to just
Crow
skip.
likes basketball, all right? So, you know, just saying.
Have to, but yeah, I will be around. I will still be sitting in this physical location. Well, actually, I probably will be sitting over there. But I have
the week after you might not be here too.
So next week is, of course, the big Cowboys-Philadelphia game, and the biggest Cowboy hater I know is allegedly coming here for the game. Now, he's not here. And I know him because I keep asking him every day. I keep reminding him because he has a habit of forgetting. And so I keep reminding him, and I know that Sunday something is going to come up, and he's going to say, I can't make it, irregardless or irrespective or whatever that word is that I always get wrong. You're running the show.
Hey.
You're gonna have guests. The following week,
we'll do it. We're gonna get it done.
The following week, I will be driving back from Orchard Park, New York. And so I don't know where I will be at 10 p.m.
What's going on in Orchard Park, New York, Jeff?
I'm just getting together with some friends.
Just getting together with the boys.
You know what I might do? I might jump on a table. Wait, can I do that?
Why not?
Am I allowed to do that? I'm not a Bills fan.
So do I have your own table? Take your own table.
Can I jump on tables, or is that reserved only for crazy?
Look, if you do, there better be a TikTok or something about that. I'm just saying. All right.
Oh, Crow loves basketball. Yes. Somebody did find their passport. It was found as I was driving to the passport office. I'm literally blocks from the passport office.
He's pulled it out between the seat and the console.
Somebody at home found it. They took one.
I knew I had this around here somewhere. Well, it's a little wet.
They looked in a few other places, and they looked in one final spot, and there it was.
So your wife found it.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, although we looked in there several times, but there it was. So someone did find their passports. Now all I got to do is buy a ticket, but that's easy. Just go on the StubHub or the Amazon, the Ticketmaster, and just buy lots of tickets to buy. So
well, good. Hey, just do me a favor. Be careful as you go through the checkpoint there at the border. Okay, there's been some flying objects lately. I would hate
flying cars.
Flying
cars.
All right. Oh god.
Flying cars. But yeah, the game's an afternoon game. So if it finishes at if it finishes at 7, if it finishes at 7, that gives me 3 hours. It probably takes an hour and a half to get out of Orchard Park and to get toward a highway.
We passed Orchard Park on the way up to Niagara Falls when we went that time. It's how far south of, isn't it like 30 minutes south of Buffalo, something like that, 30-40 minutes south? It's not in Buffalo. It's like further south.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Along
Correct.
the lake there, like it's close to the
correct.
lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the 49ers don't play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara, right?
Well, the Commanders play in damn Maryland.
Right.
So I saw a map the other day.
Keep the $300,000 Bentley at home.
Yeah, right. I saw a map of hockey teams and their relation to city center, like how far away they are. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how many stadiums are 30 plus minutes away from the city they call home. The Detroit Lions are that way, right? They don't play in Detroit. I think they play like an hour away from Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
Santa Clara is quite a distance away too. From 49ers. If Toronto was to get a football team, an NFL team, they would have to build a stadium somewhere.
They wouldn't
else.
use the Argonaut Stadium?
No, it's too small. And the retrofit.
How many seats is that? Is it like 60,000?
Yeah, not nearly enough.
Because NFL stadiums are like 90,000 plus now, right? Like
yeah. So not nearly enough for it, even though they refigure the field and we've hosted exhibition games. Mm-hmm. And we had that one bad exhibition game where they had to shorten the field and it was a whole thing. So yeah, we would have to build a new NFL regulation stadium, and it would probably be an hour out of town. It might be. I actually don't even know where it would be, to be honest.
Build it at Niagara Falls.
Maybe
that'd be sweet.
Maybe
have Niagara Falls in the background of the stadium with it open on the one end. That'd be sick.
You probably only went to the tourist part, but like the Clifton Hill, the touristy part, when you cross the bridge and you're right in there, you go 5 minutes in any direction, it's a shithole.
Really?
It's a Niagara
Falls. I mean, we did.
It's just a shithole.
We went down river some to where the rapids were. Mm-hmm. It started getting a little bit, as you got a little further down. But I mean, we weren't really there for that. I mean, we were there for Niagara Falls, right? So
of course, that's the part they make. That's where the
then like where the Ripley's is and all of that stuff. We went up in there. We went down the caves, but we went to the Canadian side because, I mean, let's be honest, the view is way better, right? And we were there for the 4th of July, so they had like the falls were like lit up with colors and the fireworks. I mean, it was amazing, right? And I think we talked about it the last time. That is one of the most surreal things I've ever done in my life. And everybody reacts differently to things, but being on that boat and driving into that, or like riding into that mist and feeling that power, your body like shakes. It's just.
You had the little blue.
The little red poncho. I had the red poncho because we were on your side. Yeah.
Oh,
so, what is the Canadian boat called?
Made of the Mist.
The Canadian's the Made of the Mist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that was the American one, so I was way wrong. Glad I didn't say anything, but not to be all like spiritual weird or anything, but it was like kind of like took my breath away a little bit. Like this is just raw natural power, like it was very cool. And then you see like all the birds sitting there on the side trying to pick up the dead fish. There's like 1 million birds at one side. And then when you see the stories of like the guys going over the edge and the barrels and stuff, it's like, morons, what's wrong with you?
They're all men. They're all men. Very few women. Because the women are way smarter.
Lived.
No, I don't think any of them did.
Oh golly.
Yeah.
And then not to get into the whole Niagara Falls thing, but when they had to do construction some time back and they had to plug it, right? it's just amazing what engineering can do. So
Well,
anyway, I could go on.
yeah,
and on
I was thinking about, some people probably went to Vegas for the F1, wanted to go to Hoover Dam, maybe go see the Grand Canyon, do a few other day little trippy tips. And if you couldn't get a car and if you couldn't get the hell out of Vegas.
Yeah.
Right.
So
or maybe not. Maybe nobody would want to do that. I don't know.
You live an hour and a half from Niagara Falls, closer than that?
Closer than that.
Closer than that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 45
Have you gone and done the Mario Kart go-karts?
Not yet.
It's open though, right? Mm-hmm. That would be a great video for you.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I think you should dress up. Mm-hmm. I think you should get a stuffed like blue shell and like throw it at your kid.
When it first opened, Big Mac and I talked about going. We just never did. And there's a great Brazilian steakhouse, one of those all-you-can-eat meat places.
Where they shave the meat off the stick right there on your plate.
Yeah, there's a great one in Niagara Falls. Right now, it's a good time to go right now because they have their big Christmas light display, which is really cool.
Do they like line the street there, going beside the falls and all that? I imagine.
And well,
it's like a park right there, right?
It's in the park. It's in the park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in the park. Yeah. It's in the park.
We didn't go up to the restaurant, but we went into the building. That's the only thing we didn't do, but it was going to be not worth our time, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. So, it's a restaurant.
We parked there though. That's where we parked. So
yeah, lots of parking. I usually park at the casino, and then I bring my casino card, and then I go in, I win some money, and then I get them to stamp my thing, and then I park for free. So that's usually what I do. But I haven't been to the falls since way before COVID. Yeah. Well,
we'll see if Purple doesn't have any last minute changes. If not, she'll be here with me next week. You enjoy your man cave shouting at your friend because that's going to be a big game next week. That's Eagles Cowboys, right?
It's a big game.
So that'll be a big one for the division, especially with the Eagles losing this week.
Mm-hmm. Yippers. So. And then they play Seattle, which is not a walk in the park. So
Seattle's a tough team. They played well the other day.
And we played Thursday, so we had the extra little break. The Eagles, they had, like you said, 3 games in 13 days, and then now they're banged up. And
again, not making excuses for them at all. You knew it was on your schedule, right? But that is tough, especially because they had the Thursday, then they had like the Monday night, then you're coming back again on a short week. Like it does take a toll when you're a banged up team.
Yeah. And they were playing hard.
You still got to play the game.
They were playing hard teams, and So yeah.
And to know you have the 49ers on the back end of that 3-13, right? Like, and then from the NFC Championship, and
then you got to go to the You got to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
You got to go to Dallas. And we're hard to beat at home. It's a home game.
You might just be very happy. As we all know, only Zach Wilson can beat the Eagles. This is and Brock Purdy,
and now Brock Purdy.
And Brock Purdy, because Brock didn't get to play in that NFC Championship game.
He did.
Debo was like, well, he didn't get to finish it, right? So Debo was like, if we had him the whole game, it would have been different. And
I know.
So,
I know.
What do we're not sure what we're playing Wednesday yet, but we're playing on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna reach out to Dude Games. Dude, if you're watching the VOD, let me know if you can play. Then we'll do some Sons of the Forest. And
I want to see the leg lamp.
If not, then we can still, even if it's just the 3 of us, we could still play, or we'll do some From Space if we want to do that.
Hey, Will's got Sons of the Forest too.
Will have Sons of the Forest too. Yeah,
he does. He does. So remember, he was playing with us when we first started, and he was just chopping trees because he was mesmerized by the tree chopping. Oh.
Crow found a mod, so we don't even have to use the cheats anymore. It auto turns on the cheats for us. We have to still use the cheats, but it auto turns on the cheats.
AI
scripting, but sure. But yeah, so now we got the cheats automatically turned on when we start the game, which is nice. I don't have to screw all that up like I was doing for many times. But yeah, good times. And then and then they're gonna go version 1. They're gonna go full release out of early access
in February. Yep. That'll be nice. We'll see. See what else they have in store for them.
Hey, Crow, Dave, Codex. One, he was making fun of me because he goes, "You're always wearing your shirt with your name on it. Is that, is that condescending? Is that not condescending? Is that I forget what he said. I said, or it's branding. It's just proper branding. But
I just want to know, do you wash it? That's all I care about.
Oh, every week.
Okay, every week. You wear it 7 days and then wash it.
I sometimes wear it. I sometimes wear it if I stream 4 days, then I have
Is
it on.
Is that the only copy you have?
I have 2 others. One is a smaller version of this, and then I have the other one with the Retro Rewind logo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That I wear during the Retro Rewind.
I still think you need a hat. All right, I still think you need a
Oh, yeah, hat. Egotistical. I think it was something like that. I can't remember what he was saying. I call it branding. Every week, whether it needs to be washed or not. Graphics gear. He has it's the designers. It's designers. So I need to. Who am I again? Oh yeah, that's who I am again. So
yeah. Hey, where can I find you? I kind of forgot. Here it is.
I was doing a Stadia stream years ago, and somebody came in. They're like, "How can I find you on Twitter?" Gee, I don't. I'm literally sitting here like this, going, "Gee, I don't know how you can find me on Twitter."
I'm surprised you don't have like pajama pants with your face all over them.
I wasn't allowed to get them.
No, because you can order those for sure.
I was not allowed to get them.
Because the T-shirt would go great with those pants.
Other people put their foot down.
Oh,
Big O Mac, his son or his brother. Big O Mac, his brother.
No, Dad, I'm drawing the line at your face on your pajama pants. All right.
They see enough of this. They don't want to see more of this.
Well, it's not for them, it's for the fans.
That's what I keep trying to tell people.
Yeah, they just don't get it,
They don't.
Because they're not your only fans.
They are not. They don't even watch my streams. So I'm not even sure Big O Mac's brother knows I stream. To be honest, I'm not even sure he knows I stream. To be honest. So at least Big O Mac's been on the streams, but.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. The other one was I did a
Darkanian.
I did an Assassin's Creed stream, and he joined.
Is that what it is? Isn't that what you told me? Darkanian.
I was gonna call him D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. Okay.
Correct, which is my favorite musketeer.
There you go.
But I figured, well, I'll let Big O Mac sometime tell you why I didn't call him that. So.
All right.
Yeah, Big O Mac has a call. Big O Mac knows
have him as a special guest.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, old man. Yeah, I call it Zymers. Gigi.
Well, hey,
I'm gonna go. Oh.
Big shout out to Graphics Gear. Awesome interview. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really nice to get that perspective of the race.
Our first real interview. We've had guest hosts come in to fill in for either of us, and you will again next week. But sort of first, and we've had Purple jump in to talk on a particular topic.
Mm-hmm.
Crow says good night. Crow's got to work.
Good night, everyone. A lot of people stopped by tonight. Thank you so much.
I got to go upstairs, and Big O Mac and I are new episode of John Oliver tonight. Crow.
John Oliver.
He's back.
Puteki.
Techie.
You gotta
like it.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good week, Jeff. Have a good week, everybody. See you.